General Ryder, you said the Secretary spoke to his Turkish counterpart about the shoot down of the Turkish drone. How concerned was the Secretary that these troops were put at risk and that despite multiple attempts to, I guess, deconflict and get U.S. troops out of danger, it still had to come to this?
Yeah, so first of all, just a little context up front. Turkey is one of our strongest and most valued NATO allies, and that partnership continues and will continue. So this is certainly a regrettable incident. At approximately 7:30 local time in Syria today, our forces had observed UAVs conducting airstrikes in the vicinity of Hasaka, Syria. Some of those strikes were inside a declared U.S. restricted operating zone, or ROZ, near Hasaka, and were approximately a kilometer away from U.S. forces who relocated to bunkers. At approximately 11:30 local time, a Turkish UAV re-entered the ROZ on a heading toward where U.S. forces were located. U.S. commanders assessed that the UAV, which was now less than a half a kilometer from U.S. forces, to be a potential threat, and U.S. F-16 fighters subsequently shot down the UAV in self-defense at approximately 11:40 local time. It's important to point out that no U.S. forces were injured during the incident. We have no indication that Turkey was intentionally targeting U.S. forces. And as I mentioned, the Secretary did talk to his Turkish counterpart and reaffirmed our commitment to continue to closely coordinate.
How striking is it that, Turkey is a NATO ally, and is this the first time that you can recall that a NATO ally has had to shoot down the aircraft of another NATO partner?
Yeah, I think, again, it's a regrettable incident, but U.S. commanders on the ground did assess that there was a potential threat, and so they took prudent action in this scenario. But again, the Secretary has talked to his counterpart. They had the opportunity to have a fruitful conversation and, again, commit to one another that the U.S. and Turkey will continue to closely communicate and coordinate. And as I mentioned, Turkey does remain a very important and valuable NATO ally and partner to the United States. Let me go to Courtney.
On the phone call, did the Turks vow not to do this again, not to fly their drones over U.S. or you said they were dropping ordnance from the UAVs a kilometer away from?
I said they were observed conducting airstrikes.
Including one that came with about a kilometer away from U.S. troops.
They were conducting airstrikes inside a declared U.S. restricted operating zone.
Did they have this phone call? Did they agree not to do that anymore, or is that?
Well, I won't speak for the Turkish minister. I would say that the bottom line is it was a very productive discussion on both sides, and again, a commitment that we would continue to closely coordinate to prevent putting U.S. forces at risk, a reaffirmation of the strong partnership that our two countries share, and also an acknowledgement that, again, we will keep lines of communication open, particularly given that region of the world and the focus on the Defeat ISIS mission.
Can you say a little bit about how the U.S. communicated with the Turks before and told them that they would shoot the drone down?
Yeah, so I don't want to get into specifics other than to say that we have multiple channels of communication at multiple levels. As you know, U.S. forces, as part of the global coalition to defeat ISIS, have been operating in that area for a while. And of course, being on the border of Turkey, and having U.S. forces stationed in Turkey, we have multiple ways to communicate with our Turkish allies.
But can you say about what level it escalated to before the shoot down? Did it get as high as the commander of Central Command or something like that? Like, how high up did it go?
It went to a high enough level within the operational chain of command. I'll just leave it at that.